Business branding time. Okay, this is probably my most challenging service that I offer because it takes a lot of thinking out of the box. Okay, we have a couple different types of business branding that we're going to talk about. The first is pre-made business branding. And what that is just pretty much a cute image and a text example that somebody can order and have you type in their name, and they can use that as their business logo. It would look something like this. You can see a bunch of them on Etsy. Um, they're cute, but they don't have that, usually don't have that memorable wow factor because they weren't originally um, custom ordered to uh, represent that business specifically. A lot of businesses have really unique things about them and what they offer and the products they offer. So if you have someone who does have a type of business that's unique, that person is probably going to want to have a unique logo. Not saying that people who get pre-made logos don't have unique businesses, but it doesn't come across as much with a pre-made logo design as it could with a custom logo design. And here is why. The images that you see in here in some of these logos are very basic and they're very generic. They're very cute, but in here you can see Pet Care Love. Looks like a dog house. Maybe it's a regular house, but maybe I could see paw prints or something in here to make it more pronounced right away that it's pet. I have to read this text to know that it was pet related. Logos are very important. They are the first impression that a reader is going to see or a customer is going to see who's looking for a service. And you want to bring them in with your branding within the first 10 seconds, sooner than that, even, of them seeing it. If they're going to look at your logo, like say this right here, you need to intrigue them or they're not going to be interested. They probably won't even read your tagline to see what you're offering if they're not visually attracted to your logo and feel that it may represent someone who they want to work with or they could get a great product from. Um, you see right here, we've got the antlers. A lot of these things are very trendy. The antlers are very trendy right now. But does that speak to the person's personality? Maybe. Could it just be a trendy logo to try to bring in people in who like the trendy glitter and the trendy antlers? Maybe. I'm not quite sure. Logos should not be confusing. They should be very clear and very concise and very to the point of what kind of business that this person has and what they're offering and what the client should expect by working with them. It's very cute designs, but it's this is what categorizes different logos. And I'm not trying to critique people, but if you're taking on logo design for people and branding your own business, it's important things to think about. See right here, this is a very basic logo design, which is fine, maybe all that people need. But for this, it reminds me more of a jam bottle. So maybe I would put this for a type of canned product, like a canned jellies or something like that, and offer it as that kind of branding instead of a photography. Visually, photography, that doesn't really resonate with what I would think of looking for a photography business. So um, it's important to kind of be clever. If you're branding somebody specifically, just their name, simple things like this, with a little element design element and a cute font works great. It all depends on what you're branding. If you're branding some person, a person only, um, a text would work and character design might work. A little design element that speaks to their personality might work. If you're branding a product, it's important to make your logo design relate to the product that you're offering. If, let's see, we're going to go over to patchworktub.com. This is not a plug. It's just something that came to my mind. This is my mother's website that she had me do a logo for, and she sells soap and bath and body products. So we chose to do her logo with something that clearly represents bath and body, which is why we picked the clawfoot tub. And hers is the patchwork tub. She chose her name to indicate handmade, that kind of vibe. And her packaging is very handmade also. She's got some crochet things that some of her friends give to her to bring to the affairs also. So this plays well. It meshes well with her products visually and from a text design point, as far as the text name. Her color palette is also very soft and appeals to her client base. They're mostly women who go into her beauty salon, and this is a color palette that they're attracted to. Okay, so right here is a very, very simple logo design, but you know right away what it is that she's selling by looking at her image. Just even without the text there, you know that it's related to Bath and Body. And it's got her little cute handmade kind of uniqueness. Okay, so moving away from my mom, we're not plugging here. I want to take you over to some other clever things from other designers. Okay, the Free Stuff Finder character logo is actually one of my favorite character logos that I've seen. It's very clever in the imagery. Free Stuff Finder, without looking at the character at all. And say your client comes to you, say, I want a character design, and this is the title of my blog or of my business, Free Stuff Finder. It's important to look at the words that you have to work with and see if you can find a word like finder that you can tie in some kind of image to make it a visual impact as well as a memorable text logo and tagline that they're working with. The finder element here is obviously her looking through a spyglass or a magnifying glass, like she's a spy, like she's an agent looking for all these deals on the internet. It's very visually clever. This is something that's extremely memorable and it makes an impact. They have the stuff finder in bold and they've tied in the free with a different color because that needs to be emphasized, and they've brought the color of her shirt into that word or vice versa to tie the image to the text. It's not a busy or fancy text design, but it is a very impactful one. Okay, another clever logo that I wanted to show you that I think is beautiful, and it's part of the Mammoth Watercolor for Illustrators set that's for sale on Creative Market. It's super popular right now. On one of her preview images, she has some examples of some design inspiration using some of the elements that she has in her kit. This right in front of us, we're looking at her font that she has included and the the watercolor palette and this arrow design and splatter design. Now, if you look at the arrow, yes, that is something that's trendy. However, the trendy arrow really ties in well with the title of the business, Perfect Shot, Photography and Eventing. The word that they have played off of is shot. And arrow really illustrates that word great. And it ties in everything beautifully. The perfect shot, it's clever, and the image is clever, and you remember it because, ooh, that's an arrow. I wouldn't think an arrow would be a photography logo, but it makes perfect sense in this example, and it's really something that you take notice to. And it's unlike some of these that you might just, ponder over and just say, okay, yep, the photography, photography, there's cute things, there's whatever, but it's not as impactful as something like this that has both the visual impact and the play off of the word. Okay, so if you can get both of those things in there and have a simple design that person can work with, you're done. You've done your job. Um, this is something that I find very difficult to do, and it takes a lot of work to come up with clever things like this. But that's why logo design is so expensive for people who purchase them. I do logo designs anywhere from 75 to 500 depending on what the request is. A lot of my blog designer friends, they start at 500 if it's an exclusive logo design, and even just something like this. So people are looking for that wow factor. So those are things that you really need to keep in mind. When you're looking to brand somebody's personality, I tend to do this most. Coming over to my website, I am more of a personality brander. People contact me for hobby blogs mostly. That's my client base, is hobby blogs, and some small businesses. I do get a few large businesses, but I really don't enjoy that as much as blog illustration and header designs and character branding. So that's what I focus my niche market to. For personality branding, it's important to really develop some communication with the person you're working with. Go over to my portfolio for a second. You need to know who you're working with, who you're speaking to, what they like, who they're trying to connect with, and what they're offering to their followers or to their customers. You have to do your homework on this to really be able to connect visually with your client. I have some personal branding in here, but I also have like things like Aurora Bees. We had a long discussion about what she likes, what she doesn't like, the colors that speak to her, where she's from. We put some personal elements in here like the snowflakes because she's from Minnesota and all that stuff. And built a personal branding around who she was. She wanted an image that really she connected to and felt like it uniquely represented her. And that is mostly what I get when people contact me. That's what they want. They want, see, this was originally a chiropractor's wife who is very much into health and fitness. So this is why we branded her character like this. We have IFBB Pro Jessica Jessie and her friend Valerie, and they're doing a podcast. So it's very literal in the imagery. You have the on air, you have the microphones for the radio talk and all that included in the image. So there's really not much guessing as far as what this is representing. Down here we have the essential oils character, and she's beside her blog. So we can gather from this that this woman works online and is part of a online business like a doTERRA business, and you don't need any text to put that together. I have some text designs in here that are pre-made, mommy and me, but mostly I find that I do customs more than pre-mades for the logos because people want that personal touch. This one was a personal one. This I actually took images of her baked goods. This is Green Mountain Mini Baked Donuts, and she has an Etsy shop, so let's jump over there real quick. Oops. And her business branding, here is her website also. And hold on, my son's calling me. I'm back. Okay. So her branding was based off of her products. She wanted a cute character design for her products. We did her donuts as the main character design. And green, we used a green color for the word green. Mountain, another color that speaks to her client base, which is mostly kids' parties and women. So a pink is always good for that. And we also did a couple other little donut friends in her slider that brought the whole branding into the branding into the entire website. You'll see in just a moment over here we did a little, oh, here's her sticker design and her little donut pop friends. They're cartoons of her actual donuts. So this is a very personalized branding that's based off of her very unique products. So, and down here we have her signature dollop frosting that she puts on a lot of her donuts and actual flavors that she offers. So it's important here again to know your clients and know what they're offering. Weddings, you can see over here we did a cute little, she still has it up here I think, cute little husband and wife donut image that she uses on her website too, which is adorable. So her branding is a very large scale, all over branding. It's not just a little logo that she uses in the corner of the website and that's it. That type of branding is fine, but you might get these customers, these clients who want to brand their entire website and their entire social media pages and all that around a basic design. Her basic design is this font, Green Mountain. She uses this with everything that she has, and then as well as the mini baked. She'll rearrange these things for different sticker designs and bag designs and all that, and she's got the mountain there and she's got the donuts, so she's got these different elements that, oh gosh, look how cute this is. Different elements that she can play with, that she can work with for her separate needs, and it's all branded together. Here is her complete logo here for one of the stickers. Okay, so you may get clients like this. Okay, oh, she's using one for a custom listing. How cute. Okay, that is pretty much the 3 types of businesses that you can, or types of logo design you'll be doing. You'll be doing the pre-mades, the personality designs, and sorry, mom emergency. Okay, so we're looking at the pre-made designs like this that you can offer. You're looking at branding someone's personality, like I often do with my character designs and hobby blogs, personal blogs, with imagery that looks like them and relates to them. And you're looking at the clever designs. So there's actually 4 that we're looking into. The clever, very simple image designs like the perfect shot photography, as well as the overall branding for products. Okay, color is super important. A lot of people don't really think about the color and they pick colors like hot pink, neon green. Whoops. We've talked about this with the clip arts. Some people think that it's brilliant. Oh, excuse the picture over on the sidebar. Think it's brilliant to choose colors like this because it's very eye-catching. And that is in fact something that is not true. It's eye-catching, but not in a good way, not in a pleasant way. This on a computer screen is going to make somebody want to not be on that computer or not be on that page anymore because it's painful, right? It's not pleasant, it's painful. Um, if you need to work with colors like this, if you have a client who says, I already have established brand colors, they're colors like this, or a fuchsia pink, and a neon yellow, or a bright red. Be easy with them. It's easier to do a white and black design, like a silhouette, and then go in and do like lips of the character red or pink, or maybe like a little purse or something small that way. It's really not great. Not a great idea to use this in text because it's hard to read the words. So if you have to use it, just be very gentle with those colors. Design Seeds is one of the references that you're familiar with for clip art design. They've got some nice color palettes to work from. They're more of kind of natural colors on this website. If you're looking for brighter ones, go to Pinterest. But there's some really nice color palettes that you can work from for your logo designs as well for business branding. And if you're doing that, it's nice to have your client kind of look through here also and show you a few that they like, that they're attracted to. But don't let that take over the process. I have had clients who will contact me and say, I love this, I love this, I love this, I love this, and I love this. Or be dead set on having a million images inside of one design because they want to fit in everything that they're attracted to in one design and have all these little personal tidbits included that no one else really understands, but they know it's there and it represents something to them. I've had a couple of these clients and they're not the easiest to work with on professional designs because it's hard to teach clients that what you like may not be what your customers need to see to be drawn to what you're offering. But if you have one of those clients and obviously they know what they want, go for it. You don't have to put the design work into your portfolio. But try the best you can to let them or help them understand that yes, we want to appeal to what they like, obviously, because it's their business and they need to love the design, but also who they're trying to connect to, who they're trying to appeal to, who they're trying to sell to, because ultimately with a logo design, you're choosing your client base. You're choosing who your customers are. You're basically hiring people to buy your products. And your logo design is an advertisement for their purchases, or they're interacting with you and they're calling you and them emailing you. So you really want to appeal to who you want to appeal to through your imagery. It's a very bold message in a very short amount of time. And you may miss out if you're not properly I will bring this up right here. If I'm trying to engage with someone who is a female and who's into oracle cards and they're not into the witchy, demonic, sometimes scary things that some oracle decks and tarot decks offer, that's who I want to speak to with this. I don't want to speak to anything other than people who are everyday females who are looking to play with a pretty oracle deck. So just as long as you are representing yourself and your product correctly and appealing to who you want to appeal to, correctly, you'll have no issues. Logo design can be detrimental to a business as much as it can be what makes a business. So color, font, all of those things have to be accurate with what you're trying to sell. Here, I'll go into my design real quick. My original character design needs to be updated. Why? Because this is something, a character style that we're talking about. We've talked about developing our own style. This was one of the first styles that I had come up with. The very big eyes, very big eyelashes, wacky hair curls. That's what I liked to begin with. And I soon realized later that people are not looking for this type of cartoon in your face kind of like a Looney Tunes kind of feel. They're more looking for the pretty, delicate imagery that I have in my newer blog, like this, the softer, worked off of kind of Disney princess look. This is what they want in character designs. This is the look that they want. So in reality right now, I am probably scaring away some customers who look at my site. Let's go to my homepage. And boom, there's Miss Pickle, and she is in your face, and she is really excited to see you. And she's eccentric, and this is very much my personality, which is what I was trying to bring through with this. So in a way, it still represents me well, but from an illustration standpoint, and that's what people hire me for, they may look at this and be like, it's cute, but it's not really what I look for. And they could leave, or what I'm looking for, and they could leave my website because they're actually looking for something softer, like this. So if they were to take the time to look through my portfolio, they may notice that this is something that I also do, but they may not. So this is something that I should be updating. So it's more in line with my current style. But at this point, my business is pretty established and pretty, my hands are full at the moment. So it's one of those things that are kind of shoved in the back burner. But this is why it's so important. That's one of the things that can go wrong, or that could be improved on in my personal branding. And it's taking notice to it is one of the most important things. You just realize what you need to fix and realize what image or what you may be portraying to people first as a first impression. Does that work for you? Does it not work for you? Okay. So fonts, fonts is pretty much the same as color. Try to work with fonts that work for the shape, work with the shape that you're working with. And free commercial use fonts are something that I always stick with. If a client wants to purchase a more expensive font from myfonts.com, they're more than welcome to. It's just required by me that they purchase the font that they want, the desktop version, so I can open it in Corel. If they want the web version, that's fine. I don't use the web version. Do use the desktop. But they are required to purchase the font for whatever price it is on here and download it and then email it to me prior to the start date of their project. Okay, because sometimes you can tell people, oh, you need to get the font and you need to send it to me, and that's fine, and then they don't realize that they need to do it like ASAP because you need to start their design. So just make sure that if you have that as an option for people, that they know it's important that they do that right away before you start. This is the only website that I work off of for professional paid fonts. Mostly I'm always over at fontsquirrel.com. Okay. Font manipulation is important too with this. You may have to open it in Illustrator, or Corel, and play around with the shapes. Make sure that the spacing in between the words is good. If it's too large of a space, you make it smaller. Play with it as if it's an image, not just a font that you type with. So to make that image nice. I have seen, let's see, I have a customer in here who has used a free commercial font. I'm not sure exactly where she is, but she wanted me to replicate it. And I took it in to replicate it. It's actually the Jane Consulting, the Teachers Rate app. So you can open that in one of your lessons. You see the picture there right on a business card. Basically, it was a free font, and it was manipulated a bit, so the shape of the font was a little different. So it looked like a custom font. Anyway, long story short, you can do that. That makes people happy because it's not just a regular font that someone's going to use online and look just like it. So you can manipulate the curls and some of the things. The spaces can be smaller or larger. You can do a little decorative swirl at the end. Here's one free font, girlfriend golf, that I just put a little bit of a golf ball pattern for the dotted I's. And I brought this down. Let's see if we can. This line right here was not there. It looked like this, the regular G. And I decided to add a little golf T shape in there that connected the two. So it's one of those little tiny design elements that's there that makes the font more than just a free commercial font. Okay. And I think that is just about it for branding. Branding takes a lot of time and practice, and communication is key. So if you have any other questions on branding, you know where to find me. In the meantime, try to think about, if you were to choose one or two areas of specialization for branding, what would they be? Would they be pre-made? Would they be customs? Would they be illustration for hobby blogs or personality blogs? Would they be for products? As soon as you have kind of a direction on something that you feel would be your strongest suit and that your niche market needs, start exploring it, and I'm happy to look at your images and give you some feedback if you want it. And I hope you have a great night.